Hello guys, welcome back. So today we are talking about Bitcoin's at a very critical level. We also have some big news. We've just seen the GDP print come out for the USA. So what this is telling us is basically what the GDP is, and that comes in as a negative print. I am actually going to show you this, guys. So let me just quickly bring my screen up here. Just want to quickly get into this. I'm sorry, AJ. I do want to know how you are. But everybody is rushing at the moment. So we see bond yields go down. This is because personal consumption rate rises at 1% annual rate. So this basically more people are consuming, but then also the GDP growth rate is negative. So that's the second negative GDP growth rate that we've seen, which technically means that the US is in a recession, unless you follow us over on Twitter, and in which case you would have seen us post up about how the US, or is it the who was it, AJ? I don't remember exactly the body.
The White House. It was the White House.
There you go. You're not in a recession if you keep changing the meaning of a recession. And I can't find it. Yeah, there we go. You can't be in a recession if you change the definition. And so we also posted exactly what they said a couple of days previous, as you see here. So, while some maintain that 2 consecutive quarters of falling real GDP, well, when you say some maintain, what you actually mean is every economist in traditional modern history. It's neither the official definition nor the way economists evaluate the state of the business cycle. Listen, mate, you're chatting some absolute wham right now. So look, forecast to be positive. We're actually hit negative, which is obviously very bad for the economy. Kind of good for inflation numbers, though, I will say. That is actually, a fairly positive sign. Bond yields have fallen down, and we can see the S&P futures here having a little bit of movement. And again, currencies. So the US dollar is kind of getting a bit stronger. So the yield on the bonds have gone down because the price has gone up because more people want to buy them. So therefore, people are looking to buy into the dollar in this very short period of time. Anyway, just wanted to quickly cover off that there. AJ, how are you doing?
Yeah, doing well. We've got some things to talk about on the technical side of things a little bit later, because there are some sort of bearish signs that are flagging to me. But if we get above a certain point, they sort of we can wipe them off the table. But they are something we need to take a look at. So we'll take a look at them in a moment.
Good. Well, let's do that. First thing I want to mention is obviously we all know yesterday there we had the Fed fund rate come out. Let me just bring up my screen. So we saw a lot of movement in the price of different assets. Obviously, Bitcoin did have a push to the upside, which is very, very good. Also, Ethereum also had a nice push to the upside. Now, what we're also seeing is that, as well as having this, we also had some, I guess, even better news for Ethereum. So there was a massive spike in daily active addresses. Now, this has been, I don't know if they have it in here, but basically Binance consolidated a lot of the smaller wallets. And I think that's why we saw so many, such high activity, I should say, daily active addresses. So all of the inactive addresses that didn't really have too many, I think they consolidated it. I didn't look fully into this. Maybe I should have now that I'm talking about it. But that is basically the reason. You can find it on Twitter, or at least, I'll give it a go in a sec. So that did get to an all-time high. But also, there's a lot of talk, obviously, around, where is it? Finding a, yes, so we have an announcement. And this is where everyone's getting excited. So the devs have finalized the merged testnet details. As part of the announcement, the devs said that their latest proof-of-stake testnet transition will be on the Giroli testnet, which happens to be the closest simulation of the Ethereum mainnet, which is very good. So it's part of the beacon chain, which is what we're going to move to. So that is very, very good and going to take place between the 6th and the 12th. This is concrete evidence. This is making us feel good. Anyone who's a little bit uncertain, if this goes well, then obviously everyone wants to be in Ethereum. So hence why everyone's buying it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we're seeing the price increase. And, I'm continuing to buy it myself.
Yeah, exactly. So, AJ, I'm going to bring your screen up here. We're
Yeah.
looking currently at the Nasdaq, I believe.
This is, yeah. So the Nasdaq yesterday, we did see a nice. It was around 3.3% move towards the upside, coming into this resistance. This is a level that we do have to be very careful with, because it's been major support, but also major resistance. When we've come into this resistance level, we have seen three pretty harsh rejections from this level. So it is something that we need to get above for me to sort of be a lot more bullish. In that case, we do need to get above this level for me to be a lot more bullish right now. As of right now, I am neutral, and I will show you why on the Bitcoin chart as well. But what we're looking at in the short term for Bitcoin is just coming into resistance. Looking at the indicators, we are getting into that overbought vicinity. The overextended vicinity. So maybe a slight pullback in the shorter term is something that can be healthy for Bitcoin, for us to then potentially continue that price action towards the upside, because we have actually broken to the upside out of this yellow trend, downwards facing trend line here. And I did tell you, if we did break above this level, I would be scaling into a long position, and that is exactly what I have been doing. On my personal trading account, I have been scaling into this, and as we come down, I am still dollar cost averaging that entry price down as much as I can. And as long as we stay above this level, I am keeping that position open. And as we start, well, if we start coming down towards this level here, which is going to be support, then I will continue to dollar cost average into that position. Also, I just want to bring up that we can actually drag this level out here as well, and put this as a support level. We did find nice support on this level here. Previously it has been resistance, and very, very strong resistance. We've seen lots of rejections from this level, but once we get above it, we do tend to see we're finding support along it. So we found supports previously here and here. So this is a level that I am going to be keeping an eye on. But as of right now, we are coming into resistance. We want to break above this resistance here. We've got the upwards trending channel here. That is going to act as resistance at the top of this channel here. And we also have this major resistance level here that we're sort of just playing around with at the moment. So hopefully we can get above that level, use it as support, and continue this nice bullish price action towards the upside. But if we have a look at this chart here, what we can see is I have drawn another line in here for you, another box in here for you, which is the support. Previous resistance here, and we have stopped respecting this top of the channel, this level at the top of the channel here. So I am just going to get rid of that, because we have stopped respecting that level. But we have established a new support level here, a new resistance level, and we found perfect support along this level. So this is a level that I am going to be keeping an eye on. Hopefully we can stay above this level. It'd be very bullish if we can stay above this level. And there's one more thing I wanted to show you for Bitcoin, and that is this chart here. I did, in fact,
It's really interesting. This, I saw this. So obviously you posted this on Twitter, and that's really caught my eye, actually.
Yeah, it's something that we can't ignore, because what I'm going to show you is that it has happened before, and not even that long ago. So we do need to keep a very close eye on this. And basically what it is we are seeing a descending triangle, and what this means is a bearish pattern, and we've seen this back here, and we have seen this here. Fortunately, they did break to the upside, which is good. But what we can see back here is that it was sort of a fake out, and then we did get that next leg to the downside. But what this is called here is we've got the high up here, and then we have this sort of slight retracement, the first push to the upside, and then we have the second push to the upside. This is called a textbook dead cat bounce, And, what we are looking for is to get this high here and then get a lower high and then the break of sort of this support level here. And then that break there is a pretty good shorting opportunity. And as you can see here, we have had that massive leg down. And this is exactly what we are seeing right now. And if we do see this could be very, very bearish for Bitcoin. What we are seeing, we've got the high up here. Then we've got this, pump to the upside, this push to the upside, and we have established this high here. Now, if we can't break this high, and we do form a lower high right here, then for me, this is signaling a dead cat bounce. And I will just see if I do have an example of this for you. I did pull it up. Here we go.
You had a really good actual, was it this one.
Here we go. Yeah. So this is the example. So, you've got the high here, then you've got the pullback, then you've got sort of the push trying to, reclaim those highs again. Unfortunately, it doesn't make it. And then you have the second attempt to try and reclaim the highs from back up here. And, it's another failed attempt. And that's exactly, what we saw here. And what we see is the second one is usually lower than the first, the first push to the upside. Basically, what I'm trying to get at here is if we cannot break above this high right here, so if we can't break above $23,300 and stay above that level, get a candle close above that level, then there is a potential that we could, see the price have another reversal. And if we do break this support here, that's a pretty good shorting opportunity. I'd be closing the long that I do have open at the moment, and potentially, opening a short. Then if we break this support level here, that's sort of confirmation for me that we are going to go much further. So I'm going to keep you updated with this. It is on the daily chart, so I'll keep you updated today if we can break above this $23,300, $400 approximate level. So I will be keeping a close eye on that.
Yeah, and to be honest, it looks very textbook. It really does look textbook. Big, you're at like an all-time high. You fall down, a little bit of consolidation, push to the upside, fall down. Push to the upside, still not good enough, fall down. Then it's so price target. Hit me with a price target here. So from that second high where the green arrow is, up to the left.
Yeah.
Up to the left.
Oh, here, yeah.
Yeah. So that second one where it tries to go up, right? So where we basically see the red bars from there down to, let's say down to the first area where we have that green candle, that small bit of consolidation before more push to the downside. What's that like? What is that as a percentage? What could be a potential price target? How would someone use this in order to find a price target?
Okay,
if they can.
Well, because, dead cat bounces, we don't sort of tend to have a price target for them. But, what I would be looking at is what I was talking about sort of in the past videos, and that's the potential bearish flag. We could call this potential bearish flag again, maybe just sort of readjusting these lines, and maybe, drawing it something like that. If I just change the color for you, so you can see it a bit clearer, we could just redraw that bearish flag, because this, still we are respecting these two trend lines, lots of support along here, lots of resistance along here. So this could still be a potential bearish flag. And if we were to, get this confirmed dead cat bounce, then there would be a potential target of around 12,000, like I told you last time I showed you this bearish flag. Now, it's not to say that this is going to play out. I am sort of bullish right now because we have broken towards the upside of this downwards trending yellow line, and I am personally in a long position. But I'm just warning you that if we can't get above this white line here, that we are most likely going to form this dead cat bounce, which we saw here, and we are going to see the price come lower. Whether we break to the downside of this bearish flag or not, I am unsure. But if we did, then the price target would be around $12,000. But for me to sort of flip bearish again, would want to break this level here, which is around $21,200. That's where I would enter if I was going to short this dead cat bounce, if it was a confirmed one. And then, I would increase my short position if we did break to the downside out of this bearish flag, because then, the technical target is around $12,000. And, $12,000 is being talked about a lot, isn't it, Ben?
It is being talked about a lot, and I think it'd very much be one of those trades that you scale out of, not one that you have like 100% all at one number. And I know that's something that we're quite big fans of, is kind of scaling in and scaling out so that you're not fully risked or whatever. So I think the first price target for me would probably be around 16. I'd take a small bit, maybe 20% or so if we do break down, because there's going to be a lot of momentum to the downside, especially if we start breaking down past 17, past and then into the region of 16. I would have a bit of a and also you'd probably have to check the Fibonacci, not something I do often, but I know a lot of people do. So I would probably take maybe 20% at 16. I'd then go for maybe an extra 50% at maybe 15, because I think we'd probably wick down. So then I would personally be 70% out at that stage, and then I'd maybe leave the rest in, but have a trailing stop, or manually move my stop, just because like we've said before, we have the number one indicator of all time. That's given us 15,500. So we'd want to be, for the majority anyway, out of the trade. And to be honest, I wouldn't really feel too comfortable waiting on a $12,000 price target for Bitcoin at this stage. I think it'd be great, but bloody hell, it would be stressful. Like if you have no take profit and you're waiting for $12,000 Bitcoin, because it's unheard of at the moment. Everyone's like, well, it'd be great, but everyone's going to panic. Everyone's going to be panicking.
There would be a big panic.
It would. One thing that I thought was crazy was like, and usually we think we'd just diamond hand it, wouldn't we? As retail investors, we just don't sell. If you're, I saw this thing. It was like traders who are in a loss become long-term investors. They just literally hold it until it goes back up. But it's like Cathie Wood, for example. She bought Coinbase at like $256 a share. It's now down to like 56, and she sold. She bought millions of shares at $256 or whenever it was. It's now down to 56, and she ended up selling at the lowest point, So, I mean, one, it gives you an indication that there might be more downside for Coinbase, which is something that, guys, heads up. They released 9 different coins. Maybe we can do a video on this, but they released 9 different coins that have been deemed as securities by the SEC, or at least, they didn't release them, but, you could trade them. And also there was a guy who was insider trading. He was front running. Basically, he knew what coins would be listed on Coinbase, bought a ton of them, and then they got listed, and then he would sell them at a very quick profit. So made over $1.5 million over the course of 18 months. And it got pointed out by a couple guys on Twitter. So, the confidence in Coinbase at this stage is extremely low. And obviously, everyone's kind of withdrawing stopping withdrawals and stuff like this. So if Coinbase do, it's going to be very, very bad. I know it's a bit of a tangent, but quite useful to know if you do use Coinbase yourself. So keep that in mind. But
so basically on the charts, hopefully we do break above this $23,300. That's all we're looking at right now. Do we want to look at Ethereum?
Yeah, hit me with Ethereum. Yeah. I like how you just brought that back. That was well needed to bring that back from my Coinbase rant. I don't know what. Anyway.
Yeah, so Ethereum coming into major resistance right here. We could see that lots and lots of resistance. So nothing too exciting for Ethereum. If we can break above this, I think that would be great news for Ethereum. But there is a chance we could see a slight rejection from this level, because the indicators are very overextended on the shorter time frames. This is the 8 hour. So in the shorter term, maybe over the next day or two, we could see a slight retracement and see these indicators reset for Ethereum. But again, it always depends on what Bitcoin is doing. If Bitcoin continues to pump, we'll most likely see Ethereum to continue to pump. But what I'm looking at here, so we had this range that we were trading in. We broke to the upside here, and we got some nice movement towards the upside. I have been talking about the $1,400 level being major support. We got perfectly supported on this level, saw a nice bounce. And previously, I have told you that this $1,700 level is a target of mine. We have come very close to it at $1,680. I do think that target is going to be hit, but it is major resistance. So from this level here, when we sort of get into this blue zone here, I do think we are, going to find it we're going to have a pretty difficult time breaking above this level, because if we do look back in history, we have found so much support along this level before we did get that initial move to the downside. But even before that, it's been such major support when we were above it, as you can see right here. And when we were below it, you can see that we used it as very strong resistance. So it is going to be a very, very key resistance level when we do sort of get to that level. So I do think once we get here, it's going to take us a while to get above that level. And, maybe we can consolidate between this resistance level here and this support level here. That could be sort of the consolidation range for this consolidation period that, we are expecting. But as of right now, we can't really give a range as of right now of where the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum is going to range between, because we are seeing the price increase. We want to wait for that consolidation period, and then we can sort of confirm where the range is. And then once we can get above that range, then we can start talking about the higher price targets. But as of right now, we need to establish that range. But I think, the top of the range is going to be somewhere between this resistance here, because it is a very, very important resistance level. And as I said, when we're above it, it's been very, very strong support as well. So yeah, getting very close to that level. But this $1,400 level is a very critical level. As you can see here, we found perfect support. I have been talking about that level for a while. So hopefully, we can range between this level and see what happens. But as of right now for Ethereum, nothing too exciting happening, just, testing this resistance right now. I do think we might see a slight pullback. But again, if we do see Bitcoin continue to pump, we could see Ethereum continue to pump as well.
AJ, if you copy and paste that yellow line and then just drag it down to the bottom of the candle or the wicks, I'll say when. Keep going. When? No, up. No, up. Up. Yep, up a little bit. Yeah, here. So around about here, do you think there's anything to do with like a channel here? Is this?
Well, I did actually have that drawn in previously. I did mention this, but we haven't respected it twice. So that sort of just
that's very much invalidated then, would you
for
say?
me. Yeah, we broke to the downside of this channel here, and this is actually something that could have been traded. Broke to the downside, and the price target was $1,400. The reason I didn't trade it is because this candle was so big, and the profits would have been very minimal. So personally, for me, that's why I didn't trade that. But the target was $1,400. That was hit, and we did, find support. Looking at it on the 12-hour, we did find perfect support along that level. So yeah, as of right now on the 8-hour, we're just looking at this resistance level here. If we can break above it, then great. We can continue to see the price increase and come into this resistance level here. But if we can't see that happen, then I think we are going to see that rejection. And then, we could talk about this being support as well, because it has been slight support before, or pretty strong support before. If not, if we do break this, then I think, $1,400 is the next target that we are going to come down to.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. Well, look, guys, that's everything. Unless you guys have questions, quickly drop them in. But obviously, make sure that you like the video. Is there anything, AJ? Do you want to leave these guys with a last little nugget of wisdom?
What's I saying?
Always use protection.
Always use
Always use
protection.
protection. There you go, guys. So technically, look, the US is in recession. Keep out on that, or keep an eye on that. It doesn't seem to have affected the market just yet. But to be honest, I think everyone expected us to be in a recession. No one's really surprised. And I think because of that, really now the main thing that we're focusing on is just what's the Fed going to do. So at the moment, it's looking like they will use more severe tactics if they need to, but currently they don't, and everyone's now expecting that the Fed rate has kind of hit its limit. Once they come back in 2 months, everything will be kind of good. So I think we're beginning to see, I just see Tomislav recession.
Yeah, let me pull
recession
up
means rate hikes to stop, DXY to dump, markets to pump. I think markets to pump, I don't think the rate hikes will stop. I think they'll begin to be tapered off. And also I think they will continue to sell their balance sheet of around about 9 trillion, which it started off at 47.5 billion a month. And now I believe, or it's in August, so coming up soon, they're upgrading that, or they're doubling it basically to like 95 billion a month, and that they're selling off in mortgage-backed securities. So yeah, hopefully the dollar does dump. Hopefully the markets do pump. But yeah, I don't know how much they will stop the rate hikes.
Yeah.
But yeah, officially in a recession. So, but considering. But just I obviously want to get into this, but just quickly note here, like everyone was so worried about a recession. Now it's here, like it's actually not that bad, and that's something I've kind of noticed. Everyone's been like, oh, the world's going to end, the US is going to be in a recession. We're not going to have any food for anyone. Oil price is so high. At the end of the day, like we're all still alive, everything still kind of goes on. So I one good thing that we can take away from being inside, one of the worst economic times of at least a generation is, things are bad, but are they Armageddon? Probably not.
Bitcoin isn't a virgin to a recession now.
Did you say that? Was that a comment?
Yeah, no, I said that.
Okay.
I saw it somewhere else. I saw it on Twitter earlier. Yeah,
no, it's not. I hope Bitcoin use protection as well.
Yeah. So just to sort of add on to that comment, we want to see the DXY dump. That's exactly what we want to see, because when we see the DXY dump, like it did, back in 2016 and back in 2020, we saw these major dumps in the DXY. We see what we tend to see in the Bitcoin market is we see major pumps, and they're pretty sort of parabolic runs towards the upside. So if we can see that dump, there's no doubt about it, that we are going to see another parabolic run towards the upside, which could, potentially take us all the way to 100K. But, we do need to see this DXY chart dump, breaking back below this resistance level here, which is, going to act as support. So we do have to bear that in mind. But once we break below that level, the likelihood of it is we are going to come back down to this support level here, where this is where Bitcoin sort of establishes its top. As you can see, perfectly establishes the top for Bitcoin when the DXY does establish that bottom around this blue area. So we'll be keeping an eye on this. I know I've talked about this level in the past a lot, because when we were testing this level here, I was thinking that we were going to get this rejection, and it was going to be great news for Bitcoin, and we were going to continue to see the price increase from around 30K. Unfortunately, we did break above this resistance here on the DXY, and that is why we continued to see the price of Bitcoin pull back, and now we are seeing it consolidate. But I did go into a bit more of I went a little bit in a bit more in depth into this in another video, so make sure you go back and watch that video. I'll just get the name of the video up for you. That was
send me the link.
DXY and S&P 500 predicts Bitcoin future. So if you go back and watch that video,
first link in the description.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the description as well. But I do go in depth about sort of the DXY, the stock market, and the price of Bitcoin, and how they are all correlated in a certain way. So make sure you go back and watch that. It does give you some good information of what is going to be happening next for Bitcoin. There are 3 phases that we do see with the stock market, Bitcoin, and the DXY. And as of right now, we are in the second phase. And, once we get out of this second phase, we're in the first phase. And once we get out of this first phase, we can get into that second phase. And then we can get into that third phase. And that third phase is a really exciting phase, because that is where, we make all the, that's where we make all the gains in our portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the money. That's the money shot. That's what we like right there. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. I see another comment here. The economy contracted 2 quarters in a row. Yes, but did it do over the previous quarters? Can't find the data now. Jason, I won't be able to find the data. I don't know the data off the top of my head. So I will have a look. Wasn't 1 quarter up by 31%. Again, we can have a look. So yes, the economy did do really well once there was a ton of stimulus. And maybe that's why, yes, technically it's a recession, but I don't know. I just feel like there's still so much money about, which is crazy. It just doesn't really seem like, and I know we say here, no recession, no dump. CP 9.1% CPI didn't really dump the market. 75 basis point didn't dump the market. Recession didn't dump. And you are actually kind of correct. Yes, a lot of markets are down by, I don't know can you bring up the S&P 500, for example? I know the drawdown on Bitcoin from high to low most recently. So the drawdown is, from the highest point to the lowest point. What is that percentage difference for Bitcoin? It's around about 67 or 60, between 65 and 67%. Which is
from the all-time high to the bottom? It's 75 from all-time high to the bottom, yeah.
Okay.
And from, just pull up my screen.
So if we have a look at then, so for the S&P, for example, and that's the thing, we haven't dumped
24.43%.
Yeah, 24. So 24%. It still is a considerable amount. It's not, it's not nothing. But I guess, and even when was this? Well, let me just take this off so you guys can see the bottom here. So this is, pretty much Christmas. Was that Christmas? Yeah, it is. Yeah. So kind of like January time, isn't it?
3rd of January is when we established that top.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
So yeah, it's down by what, 24%.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not. There is a bit of a dump, which kind of gives me confidence that the market has reacted, but it's a lot less than what it typically is in a recession, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. There you go. So anyway, all right, guys, we'll leave you there. Hope you have a great day. Obviously, today is Thursday. Why did I think it was Friday? I thought everyone was going to be down the pub after work.
I wish it was Friday.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's just because I'm heading down the pub after this. But yeah, so anyway, Thursday we'll be back here on Friday. We're going to give a full kind of week's overview, and then there is still probably focus on what's happening in the Nasdaq, and a little bit about the earnings that's coming out today. Got some very, very big companies announcing, so we'll give you updates on that tomorrow. Make sure you stick around, and thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Make sure you slap a like if you did enjoy the video, and we will see you tomorrow.
And subscribe to that channel.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.